Supervisor Campos to the podium, please.
Thank you, David! Thank you, David!
Arriba, David Campos.
Okay. Miguel? Gustav? Get up here.
Are we ready? Yes? Are we all here? Perfect. Okay. Muy buenas tardes. ¿Cómo están todos? How's everybody doing? Good. It's an honor to be here today helping with this wonderful recognition of something that was already in the hearts and souls of so many in the community. And you all made it happen. The Calle 24 Latino Cultural District is now in the books. And now we're going to see a blessing from Estela Garcia, Executive Director, Instituto Familiar de la Raza. Estela.
Gracias. Muy buenas tardes. Good afternoon to everybody, and thank you so much for being here. It's so important for us to keep our sacred places, for that, to make sure that this community remains vibrant, not just in our diversity, but vibrant in terms of our cultural legacies and our history. We are, if you've lived in the mission and worked in the mission or prayed or played like I have, you know that for decades, the Chicano, Latino, Indígena influence has been phenomenal in arts, in music, in our words, in our relationships to each other. So this blessing today is to continue that and make it grow and build it and foster it and make it strong. I have brought today a couple of things. I brought some copal for all of you that comes from the trees, so it's from our natural world, and it's a reminder of really the sweetness that exists in all people. I also have brought some copal, but also some sage, and the sage is a way to give word to the Creator. And so today our blessing is going to be asking Him for strength from all of our community members to go forward and to make this dream a reality for everyone. I've also brought some lavender because I want to remind people that the greatest victories have been done in peace. The greatest leaders are those leaders who we remember as people who are peacekeepers. So as we deal with conflicts and issues in our community, across our community, that we remember that that is our strength, is to be able to do it in a gentle manner, but with persistence until hasta la victoria. So aquí estamos, no nos vamos, and I welcome all of you today. I also want to just say we're going to be, I'm going to do the 4 directions, so we're going to start off giving our thanks to the Creator and all the directions that He has brought to us. And we're going to start in the east, representing the protector, the male energy. We're going to go to the west for all the women in the world who have brought so much to our life, to creativity, to the reason that you're all here, as well as myself. And so we're going to do that, and then we're going to turn towards the south, which is the direction of the children, so that we are always remember that they are our future and they belong here. And they are our future poets, our future directors, our future leaders. And so we must take care of our children. And we end with the north, which is the direction of our elders, to give thanks for that very origin from which we come from, and to remember our ancestors in any action that we take. So Él es Dios, and I want to recognize these young men who have the drums here. They took a quick lesson to help me in the 4 directions. So thank you. Él es Dios. the longevity of our cultura and our presence in this community and other communities. Él es Dios. We're going to face the south, and the south is the direction of the young people, of the newness, of beginnings. And today is an important day because it also helps our future generations as we preserve and protect that which is not only life-giving, but it has something that is an important remembrance, important part of who we are. We must keep our presence in our communities. So this is for our children. So today is also a thank you to our children and ask them to join us in peace and in consciousness to do the work that has to be done. Él es Dios. And our final call is to our elders, our ancestors. This is the Native people call this the mountaintop, the white mountains, because it's where our elders sit and observe how we are and try to reach us in their own way through dreams or through remembrance that we have of our parents, our grandparents, and our great-grandparents. This is also the direction of all those heroes in the Chicano, Latino, Indígena movement, and part of the reason why we are here to preserve that legacy of activism and of cultural integrity and pride. So we give thanks to our ancestors and call on them and ask them today to continue to give us counsel and to continue to be in our hearts as we move forward from today on to leave that which must be left for our children. Él es Dios. And then if you can just look into the center, and I'd like you to look at these young men for just a minute because they are beautiful. And I want to say thank you to them because I wanted some drums today, and I asked them, and they just were so embracing. They just went for it, and that's what young people do. They adapt, they respond, and they give their best when we ask them to do so, and when we respect them back. So I want to thank you for helping me to deliver this message today. And it's
Thank you so much, Estela. And now we'll hear from Supervisor David Campos. Supervisor.
Thank you so much. Wow. Muy buenas tardes. Good afternoon. What a special day. Qué día tan especial aquí en el Distrito de la Misión. There are so many of you here who are responsible because of all the amazing work that you have done over the years for making this possible. If I could read a list of all the people who over the years in the life of this neighborhood brought us to this point, we probably would be here the whole day. And each and every one of you, by your presence and by your work, what you do in this community has made this possible today. So give yourselves a big round of applause. You know, Calle 24 features vibrancy that we think is unmatched in the entire city and county of San Francisco. And the resolution that the Board of Supervisors passed unanimously this Tuesday, it's an historic resolution that understands and recognizes the contributions of the Latino community, not only to the mission, but to San Francisco.
Yeah!
I want to begin by thanking my colleagues on the Board of Supervisors because it passed 11-0.
Yeah!
And I want to thank and recognize Mayor Ed Lee for being a co-sponsor of this resolution. And we have here Joaquin Torres from his office who will be speaking. Joaquin, thank you. Thank you to Mayor Lee and his office. Calle 24 is the heart, el corazón de la misión. And recognizing Calle 24 as a Latino Cultural District is the first step in a larger and longer process to preserve the integrity of not only Calle 24, but of the entire neighborhood. We are going to begin an open, transparent, public community process where we as a community are going to decide and tell the powers that be in City Hall what our priorities are in terms of the institutions that we want to preserve in our neighborhood. It's going to be the people of La Misión telling City Hall, this is what we want to prioritize, and then it's going to be the powers that be listening to the people of La Misión and codifying changes to the planning code so that we can protect the cultural and other institutions that we have in our neighborhood. And we are all aware of the changes that are happening in our neighborhood. And the mission has become ground zero for the displacement that is happening. San Francisco is indeed the wealthiest city in the country, and yet it's also the city that has the fastest growing inequality in the entire nation. We see it. We feel it. The difference between the haves and the have-nots could not be more profound in San Francisco today. And through this resolution, we in this neighborhood are saying we want to protect the San Francisco that brought us here, the San Francisco that recognizes that every single one of us has a right and a place in this amazing city, and that you don't have to be a millionaire to live here. With more than 200 businesses, small businesses, Calle 24 is a bustling enclave. For so many years, this has been the heart of Latino businesses in this city. You're talking about food stores, restaurants, cafes, taquerias, panaderias, butchers, art galleries, and gift shops. And that's just some examples of the amazing businesses we have. We celebrate today longtime businesses like La Victoria, the Roosevelt Tamale Parlor, Casa Sanchez. But let me say that we need to understand the importance of recognizing the role that these institutions and these businesses have played in shaping not only La Misión, but San Francisco. We know that you cannot talk about La Misión without understanding the importance of saving our panaderias and making sure that they have a presence on this corridor. And so we also want to acknowledge the Latino-based organizations that on 24th Street for so many decades have fought, have worked to preserve the presence and the contributions of the Latino community. These include amazing organizations that like the Mission Neighborhood Centers, MNC, the Mission Education Project, Inc., MEPI. I saw Rita Alviar somewhere over there. Galería de la Raza, and thank you, Renee Yanez. La Misión, La Misión San Francisco would not be what they are without Renee Yanez. Presida Eyes, Mural Arts and Visitor Center, the Mission Economic Cultural Association, Acción Latina, Dance Mission, Brava Theater. Now, visually, Calle 24 is distinct because of the murals that adorn this amazing corridor. And I want to note that Balmy Alley has the highest concentration of murals in San Francisco. And that the first murals that were painted in Balmy Alley, that was carried out in 1972. And we want to recognize the work of the Chicana artists, the outdoor muralists, the Colectiva Mujeres Muralistas, that made that happen. And then we want to note that in 1984, more than 27 muralists added to that collection of outdoor murals focusing on the conflicts in Central America, in Central America. And for those of us who are of Central American descent, we know the very important role that this neighborhood has played with respect to that conflict. And now Calle 24 hosts a multitude of events, cultural events that are not only an integral part of this neighborhood, but of the entire city. And within the Calle 24 Latino Cultural District, we're going to have the celebration of events like the Cesar Chavez Parade, Día de los Muertos, Rene Yáñez, and of course, we will be celebrating starting tomorrow Carnaval here in La Misión. And so I'm really excited to be a part of this, and I want to acknowledge, and you're going to hear from some key people that were instrumental in making this happen. I want to thank my staff in my office, Laura Lane. Laura, where are you? Thank you for all the work that you have done to make this happen. We want to thank, again, the Mayor's Office of Workforce and Economic Development. We want to thank Calle 24, Eric Arguello. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Eric! Que viva Eric Arguello. Que viva. I want to thank the Latino Historical Society, and I want to identify especially Ann Cervantes. Ann Cervantes, you know, I don't know how to describe Ann. I think she's a force of nature, because when she sets her mind to it, she makes it happen. Thank you so much, Ann. We also want to thank the San Francisco Heritage Society for the role that they played in outlining the history of this neighborhood. And for those of you who haven't read the resolution, talk about a history lesson. It's going to make you cry. And I am so proud that some key people were included in that resolution, and you're going to hear from some of them today. But I especially want to thank Alejandro Murguia, our poet laureate. And then for me, on a very personal note, someone that I want to say his name. His name is embedded in this resolution. The great and the late Eric Quesada. Anyway, you're not here to hear me speak. The only thing that I would say is this: that I'm especially gratified to see the young people who are here, because this is truly about them. It's really about making sure that they carry on the cultural tradition and history of our Latino culture. And it's not just about Latinos, it's about the non-Latinos. We want to thank the non-Latinos who have been an integral part of this process as well. And the thing about La Misión, and the thing about San Francisco, is that we know that we're all connected, and that we're only as strong as the weakest link in this chain that we're a part of. And that's why we take care of each other, we take care of our own, and that the definition of how well or poorly we're doing is not how those who have the most are doing, but those who have the least. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Gracias. I also want to acknowledge, by the way, former Supervisor Cristina Olagi, who's in the audience. Supervisor Olagi, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Supervisor. Please allow me to introduce Joaquín Torres, representing Mayor Edley. Joaquín,
gracias. Y bienvenidos a todos y gracias por venir aquí en La Misión. ¡Viva la raza! We have so many important people that we need to hear from the community, but I just wanted to say on behalf of Mayor Lee that it is such an honor and privilege to hear the community speak through this resolution. There are people all across this city that find themselves reflected in landmarks and events and businesses across the city, whether we talk about Japantown, or we talk about Chinatown, or we talk about the Rainbow Crosswalk soon to be seen in the Castro. And all that we want to see as a Latino community here in San Francisco is to feel ourselves respected and reflected on the streets in the neighborhood where we walk and we live. Aquí estamos. Because of the businesses, because of the events, because of the festivals that you heard Supervisor Campos talk about. And we are so happy that we were able to sponsor this legislation with you, Supervisor Campos, in partnership with everyone from the community who added their words, their concepts, their ideas, their energies, and their love. It is truly a moving and historical moment to realize this community achievement here on 24. And I just want to say again on behalf of Mayor Lee, en las palabras de nuestro alcalde, viva Calle 24. Viva la misión. Viva la alma y corazón de San Francisco. Muchísimas gracias.
Muchas gracias. Y bueno, todos la conocen. Ha trabajado incansablemente. Everybody knows her. She's worked really in such a way. Now we're going to hear from her. Ana Cervantes, San Francisco Latino Historical Society. And
I'm going to take my glasses off. But this is a historic event. It's been coming, it's taken over 25 years to get here. Latinos' contributions to the city are now being documented with the resolution of this street.
Thanks to you, man.
No, thanks to Eric and Supervisor. There's things that have not been documented, such as the fact that a Latina was our founding mother of San Francisco, Juana Briones.
Yeah.
And that the city grid was laid out in varias at a Mexican plaza, which is now Portsmouth Square. No one knows that it was a Mexican plaza at one time and the seat of government. And nobody knows that before the 49 strike, there were merchants here and people living here from Chile and from Peru. So to say that we're recent immigrants, we've been here a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. In the 60s, like a lot of part of the city, the urban cores were abandoned, and it was the flight out to the suburbs. And San Francisco ethnic communities were left for rebuilding and organizing to improve the quality of life. And they were able to turn these neighborhoods around to unique neighborhoods into something that is valued. In the 1980s, Bob Sanchez at that time was president of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, but he was also considered the mayor of Calle 24. And at that time, he got me involved in the revitalization committee for 24th Street. Since then, which was established by Supervisor Gonzalez. So that goes back to like 1987. Both Roberto Hernandez and I have sat on that committee, and we've been involved for over 25 years. And to see this happen, it's like a miracle. Because what we did is we saw it through Supervisor Medina, Supervisor Leal, and it was at this time I became involved in the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and I went to a national convention in Miami. And the destination point in Miami for Latinos is where? Calle Ocho. So it's been a vision, since that was a destination for people, Latinos in Miami, why can't we have one here in San Francisco? Woo! So that was the starting of an idea. During Supervisor Gonzalez's chair of the committee, I organized a group of Latino architects and planners to provide an urban design plan for 24th Street. At that time, decision, what's that? At that time, the decision was not to do full implementation because this was the 80s. We would spur on gentrification. So there were two parts of that plan that were adopted, were exploration of a gateway and also the flag of the Américas, if you've noticed, on 24th Street, which were done with all the Mission District artists. Other ideas that came out of the report were creating Avenue of the Stars, where recording history of Latinos' contributions to the street, such as Lorraine Garcia's sister, Eva Garcia, who took care of the liberated billboard on the Galeria de la Raza. So, in the 1990s, I know this person isn't very popular, but you have to know, it was through Mayor Brown that neighborhoods were able to secure, Mission Neighborhood Centers was able to secure this building here, which is now turning into senior housing. And then at the same time, with that effort, through the 24th Street revitalization, Bravo was able to be secured for the community. And then at that time also, Supervisor Leal held one of the 24th Street Economic Summit. And one of the recommendations there was to explore a cultural heritage district similar to the exploration that people of Watsonville were doing at that time. And then 2013, it was through the leadership of Eric. We were talking, because it takes strong leadership in order to move this stuff forward. And then we talked and we said we need to brand this corridor as Calle 24. So that's how we got here today, and it was through the efforts, one of the major last efforts, which is Supervisor Campos of pushing this legislation forward, and also the mayor's office. So that's how we got here. There's a long leadership, but it would have been possible if it had not a strong Calle 24 Merchants and Neighborhood Association. So thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And now we'll hear from a man whose words honor life and whose life resembles a poem. Who could that be? Alejandro Murguía. Welcome, Alejandro.
Thank you. And thank all of you for coming out today and sharing this really truly historic event and historic day. And I know it's been a long time coming because I've seen so many faces of so many friends and so many colleagues over the past 40-45 years that we've been working and struggling here in the Mission District. And I want to just add a few notes to what Supervisor Campos said. Our community is capable of organizing and implementing a plan to preserve this cultural corridor in whatever vision our community has, and we've done it before. For example, in the 70s, when our entire community organized just like this to create the Mission Cultural Center. So we do have a precedent for that, and I know that going forward, we will stay united as a community to implement this incredible vision. And I just want to thank you all for the support, all of you. I know it's a community effort completely, so thanks. And I want to offer a poem and have another poet offer a poem too. How's that? So, I'm Alejandro Murguía, and I'm from the Mission. And I'm on a mission, just like you're on a mission, and we are on a mission, and the mission is to be in the mission. ¿Me entiendes, Méndez? La misión, la mission, the mission. Wherever I stand, here, there, everywhere, I'm in the mission. And the mission's in me, like the mission's in you, because the mission is to be in the mission. Me explico, Federico? Spectators, operators, speculators, all roaming the mission. But there's some people missing from La Misión. ¿Que no? Watch your watch and your iPhone and the sirens in the mission. Check the descarga beat because the heat is on the mission. Yeah, that's right. So the new mission must be to free the mission. Oh, hear me straight, cats and kitties, hipsters and finger-popping daddies. That's the vision. And what a vision. To free the mission. That's our mission. No evictions. Free the mission. Ho! Thank you very much. And now, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're very kind. I want to introduce another poet, though, a colleague of mine, all the way from Guatemala on the 14 mission bus. Let's hear it for Maya Chichilla.
You know, I was born in Long Beach, but I came of age here in the Mission. I lived on Cap in 24th, Shotwell in 24, Potrero Street in Mariposa, and then, you know, as prices rose, I had to leave and go to Oakland. But, you know, I come back here, I work in San Francisco State. I've been a teaching artist at Galeria de la Raza. Brava Theater has given me so many artistic art opportunities. I've washed my laundry on these streets. I've lived and loved in this place for so long, and it means so much to me. And I'm now having a book come out that was inspired by, you know, all my parents being a part of the solidarity movements in the 80s in Central America. And even the cover is made by our own Yolanda Lopez and Rio Yanez, who have inspired me dearly, and as you know, are being evicted by the Ellis actions here in San Francisco. So, you know, I honor everybody. I honor my whole community with this work, and I wouldn't exist as an artist and a teacher without this place. So, with that, I give you 24th and Mission Border Transmission. Mi querido 24th and Mission, conjunto on a Tuesday night, mostly men gathered around to listen to the upright bass, guitar, drum, and of course, the accordion. Harmonizing, reminding stocky brown-skinned men of home. They'll be home soon, they think. No need to do anything permanent here. And the bar on the corner, always a pop song, ballad, cumbia, salsita blaring. The men spilling out to the street, mamacita. Reminds me that no mujer decente would be in there. And even though I've never considered myself especially decente, and even though my father says I sometimes talk like one of those women in those bars, and we automatically know what one of those women are, right? But poor women aren't allowed liberation. Or maybe they find it in tight jeans and a stretchy v-neck that shows every bump, every movement, dripping ornaments, dangling, teasing, gold hoops, lasso your eyes. You will see me. Aye, he says, why do women wear a dark bra under a white shirt? Only nacas do that. She sighs, uncomfortable in the skin she thought she was comfortable in, hurls back, it looks fine, and changes into a darker shirt. They say don't walk alone at night because something might happen to you. And if it does, well then you shouldn't have been alone. Blame the victim reflex so you don't have to take any responsibility. What if you don't have someone to walk with? Lock yourself inside until the world changes, until somebody comes for you. And he says, yeah, the world's a dangerous place for women, but how are we supposed to change things? It'll always be dangerous for women to be alone. And I can't believe he says this, but then that is what we're talking about. Fear, the ultimate power over a woman. Rape, confidence trusted, trust gone disgusted, picked up from a blacktop smackdown, negative in the place of a positive, accusatory sin, and no redemption in sight. It's dangerous to be a woman, even first world. That's why I'm connected to my hermanas on the border. Be careful, I hear they're killing women over there. My first world status means nothing. The border, this line that is not a bridge, not a line, it's a ditch, a hole, an open wound, like Berlin walls, like Great Walls of China, apartheid walls, several cement, iron gates, barbed wire, men with guns protecting. Who again? Whose interests? Eerie walls of silence. So we march, we mourn, we gather on 24th Street, write letters, make speeches, hold discussions, looking up from fear and hopelessness, raising awareness, daring to be powerful. Guatemala, Guatebuena, país de eterna primavera, carga nuestra pena. También México lindo y querido has some dirty secrets. Nuestra Madre de las Sierras is helping hide our dirty laundry out in the desert, only half hidden. So you know what happens to women who step out of line, out of the house. NAFTA's neglected, unprotection, migration, survival, maquila women earning $4 a day, working on electronics, working on clothes she could never afford. Explosion of exploitation is representing only the half of it. Women across the planet, symptoms of our deeper problem. Her crime only being a woman, crimes against all our humanity. Pero ¿sabes qué? No están solas, no están solas, no están solas. We are not alone. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, both of you. Now please allow me to welcome Lorraine Garcia Nakata of the American Latino Museum, Federal Commission. Welcome, Lorraine.
Pardon my back to those that are, I love the circle though. You know, we were talking about women just now, and there are many of us Latinas of my generation that have dedicated our lives to the arts. And I was recently speaking with people at Cornell about that life, and I said that for women, especially women of color, that it's a political act to dedicate your entire life to art, because it is not something that sort of comes easily for women. There are so many things that get in the way of that. So to all the women that are here, that are creative in their way, and also all the women that we have lost, and we've lost many of our generation. I'll share these words today, but I will have them in mind in particular. I want to say something about this city that we live in and Calle 24, and how it plays into this, because people don't really, outside of our immediate community, completely understand this. So I wrote this so that I might be able to share this with people that are not necessarily within our circle of how we live and operate in the mission. And part of it is that every great city owes its greatness to its unique art and cultures. And I'll say that again, because every city on the planet owes its greatness to arts and culture, and people don't quite grasp that. Now, since the 1700s to the present, Latinos have contributed to both the physical and also the cultural vibrancy of this city as a whole, and also our Latino Cultural District in particular. Latinos in San Francisco, there are some unique traits that we have come accustomed to that we take for granted, but that are really very different for other places. And that is that Latinos of San Francisco have provided a grounding and a sense of place for cross-cultural and artistic exchange, partnership, collaboration, dialogue, resulting in artistic and social justice movements that have influenced, pushed the rest of our nation to extend its own thinking, social boundaries, and its related practices. That is one of the main things that this city and our community in particular have given the rest of the country, and has been infused into actually our planet, are those traits. So know that those are not things that happen automatically everywhere else, but they happen now, like how we breathe in our community. Also, our comfort with self-determination and our open definition of community are also uniquely San Francisco, and they have been incubated and further developed here in this district, our Latino Cultural District. There are many of us here that owe our artistic and cultural footing to this part of our city, and I mean that. Many of us hung out, raised our kids, developed our work at places like the Mission Cultural Center, the Galeria Studio 24, and have seen performances, presented things at Brava, and then have come and gotten our food at the various places to eat that we have named here. And those things do not operate independently of each other. Also, it's no coincidence that these important efforts that we have offered have had an impact across human endeavor, and that they began and have gone on to affect the national, international terrain. It is the art and culture of San Francisco, Latino culture in particular, that have fed the dynamic environment that this city enjoys, thus making it highly attractive. And I'll say that again, it is because of the art and culture that has made this city attractive, that has brought new people here. And so it's wrong to have it disappear. Now, I've had the luxury of being able to work with developers, with city officials, with people in my own community, different ranges, but I will share this in particular with my colleague here representing the mayor's office and other areas, and that is that as San Francisco navigates the influx of newcomers, and we've always been welcoming of newcomers, but as it navigates that terrain, it's extremely, extremely important to recognize the role Latinos provide to the ongoing desirability of our city, and why the establishment of Calle 24, Latino Cultural District, is so important. Establishment of Calle 24, Latino Cultural District, will do this. It will heighten awareness, it will preserve, it will provide stewardship of our Latino history and our ongoing contributions, and will also ensure that San Francisco residents retain and enjoy a dynamic cultural environment that stimulates creative thought, innovation, and leadership. But it can't happen if we are dismissing the pieces that feed all of that. So what I want you to hold on to and to share is that we are here. We are Calle 24, Latino Cultural District, and we're not going anywhere. This definitely helps us to stay here and to make it flourish. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here.
Thank you so much, Lorraine. Thank you so much. Please let me welcome René Yáñez, art curator. René.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. I'm glad to see everybody here. But one thing missing here is the people that are affecting us. The distant thunder that's right here, and that's Google and Facebook. They should be here. They should see that we have a soul, we have a face, we have a presence here. But they should come down and see exhibits at Galleria, place at Brava, things that we are doing that are affecting people. Artists need help right now. I feel that the San Francisco Art Commission should be involved in housing and helping artists and developing centers. Also, I would like to see the teachers union involved in helping teachers stay here in San Francisco. We need the teachers to be here to teach our children. So I'm asking this teachers union to get involved. So, and a little bit of history. Bob is here, Bob Sanchez. And there's a person that passed away but has a history, Manuel Lares. He started the 24th Street Merchants. Bob was the president, I was the vice president. We brought in resources, street fairs, beautification, more support for murals. We could deal with City Hall. So also there's Galan from Galan's Bar that's no longer here, but he was very active. So I'm also asking your support for cultural institutions here on 24th Street. Also help support the businesses. We must resist. We should ask City Hall, put a freeze on this devastation that's upon us. Tell Mayor Lee it is affecting us. All right. Okay? All right, I'm counting on you. I'm counting. Here, fist bump. All right. All right. Right there. Also, before I go, I'd just like to read a few names of artists that used to live here. They contributed a lot. Mike Rios, the mini park over there. Patricia Rodriguez, who was with the Mission Cultural Center. She no longer lives in the city. Ray Patlan, who was a muralist. Carlos Loarca, Susana Aragon, Irene Perez. And I'll leave you with one thought. Resist cultural tourism. Resist cultural tourism. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now we'll hear from somebody who has a lot to do with music, as well many of you do. Dr. Bernardo González, Dr. Rock. All right.
Thank you. I just want to say I'm honored to be invited here today to speak on the cultural corridor. I'm not a musician who made the music. I'm just a fan like the rest of you. You know, when Woodstock came about and we all saw that performance of Santana on that stage, I tell people that I was 15 years old and I no longer wanted to play baseball when I saw that. I said, whatever that is, I want to do that. I want to be part of that. And that's what I've been. I've been just trying to keep that flame alive. There's a book that was written called The Voices of Latin Rock. And this chronicles the music that came out of the Mission from the 60s and 70s. And it looks at the Mission the same way Detroit was the center for Motown. And this book came out about 10 years ago. And this was written by a man from England. He was so affected by the music and enjoyed it that he became a fan and wrote this book on the Mission District. And like I say, I'm only the keeper of the flame. I'm not a musician. I've invited a couple of people here today to speak to you because they grew up on these streets. They became part of the music and part of the music scene, the Latin rock scene. There were 4 bands that recorded in the 60s and 70s Latin rock. There was a Filipino Latin rock band called Tequila. There was Sapo. There was Malo. And then the big kahuna, Santana. 4 bands. One gentleman played in all 4 bands. And I'd like to introduce him right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Raul Rico.
Thank you. I'm really honored to be here. Bernie, first of all, you are part of the music, and don't ever forget that. Because without you, I don't know where music would be. Your love is what keeps it going. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I've been a part of the Mission District my whole life. I'm born and raised here in the city. I used to work at the Mission Y, and used to get paid by Mission Rebels, Horizons Unlimited. Was connected with these organizations, you know, a long time ago. I remember dropping out of high school to go protest for Julio Cesar Chavez over at the Safeway over here and picket. Anyway, I am so honored to be here and part of 24th Street. Whenever I come down here, I got to think of Dr. Bernie. I got to think of Mike Rios and Richard Segovia. You know, these are my brothers from forever. Anyway, I would like to touch on one thing, and that is that it's the cultural diversity of San Francisco that is its treasure. I've traveled the world. I've had the pleasure, and you know what? San Francisco's got it on everywhere I've been. With its cultural diversity. That's our strength. And that's what came out in the music. It wasn't pure Latin music. It was a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I'm thankful to have been a part of that. I'd like to just finish with one thing, and that is that John Santos and I, we were part of the Carnaval when it first started. And we were teachers. We taught at Presida Center. We taught at Mission Rebels. We taught at Mission High School. Now, John and I just went back there last year and did a clinic at Mission High School. And we were shocked to find out that there are no music classes there anymore. And that broke my heart. If there's anything that we can do, I'll go, hook, line, and sinker into this to give my time and effort to helping with that. But I guess we need everybody's support. This world's a better place when culture is in place, right? It's a safer place. I mean, if everybody's playing conga, then they're not, out there doing the wrong things. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm honored to be here and a part of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Raul. I just want to say Raul contributed one of his gold records to Latin Rock Collection, and to me it's like giving up one of your children, man. But thank you. I want to introduce another gentleman who grew up on these streets, has some long history, and was part of the original band Malo. Ladies and gentlemen, Leo Rosales.
Buenas tardes a todos mis amigos aquí en la calle Misión. Es un gran placer estar aquí contigo en este lindo día. My name is Leopoldo Luciano Rosales, born in San Francisco in 1954. I lived over on DuBose and Walter Street. My father was one of the first radio announcers in San Francisco. He was up right here on the 24th at Mi Rancho. My Radio Coffee. My cousins right here are my uncle. Their father was Edgar Rosales, who played with Cal Jader back in 1954. So we have a lot of legacy and a lot of culture that our families came from Nicaragua. And they came over here to San Francisco for a better life. My mother worked at a factory, at a linen factory. My father was a radio announcer. My abuelita worked at the Fairmont Hotel cleaning rooms. My tia Vilma worked at St. Francis Hotel cleaning rooms. And they did all they could do so that we could have a better life here. I went to Balboa High School, went to Luther Burbank, went to Epiphany Catholic School. And my father worked hard, giving my mom a little bit of money every month in order to put me through those things. And in that process, music was a big part of our lives. Of course, with my tio Edgar playing congas and singing with Cal Jader. Every time there was a party at the family, listening to Tito Puente, Javier Solis, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, music became a big culture of our lives. And that's what we did. Every Friday and Saturday and Sunday, una borrachera del carajo. But what we did is the kids sat around the stereo listening to music, and we got ingrained with that music in our hearts. And as I grew up, my brother here, Raul Rico, and I love this guy. Raul and I go back to middle school. We met at Luther Burbank School, and we used to cut school just so we can go play conga drums. We didn't cut school to be little gangsters. We didn't cut school to go sell dope. We didn't cut school to go steal cars. We cut school to go play congas. We go to Aquatic Park. We go to Mission Dolores Park. And we spend all of our waking moments playing conga drum. And in that process of all that time, came across other fellow musicians through the Bay Area and through the neighborhood. And we got connected with different groups, and that's how I got involved with the group Malo. When I went on tour with Malo, I was 18 years old. I didn't even finish my term at Balboa High School. I graduated a half a year early. Went on tour with Malo. They needed another conga drummer, and I said, I know this guy. I know this guy. His name is Raul Rico, man. He's a bad motor scooter. I didn't say motor scooter, but we got kids here. So we hooked up. We got with Malo. We were with Warner Brothers for 5 years. We toured the entire United States. We played on American Bandstand with Dick Clark. We played in Carnegie Hall. We played in Central Park. We played all over, and we were just young kids from the Mission. And it's because of all of you, it's because of all of you that Raul Rico and I have had the successes that we've had. And one great thing that Bernie and I did recently, and I will close with that, is I brought all of you with me to the Boston Marathon. And I ran the Boston Marathon this year for Alex Speaks Foundation. We raised over $10,000 for the cause. And I was proud to be standing at that starting line of the Boston Marathon and thinking of all the wonderful things that I've been blessed with wonderful friends, with a wonderful community. And I love all of you guys, and I hope to continue to do great works with the likes of Dr. Bernie, my hermanito right here, Raul Rico. Love you guys. God bless you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. I just want to say, if you Google and look on YouTube, Suavecito, you will see a young, fresh-faced Leo Rosales singing it on a TV show. Was that Rolling on the River? Okay. Thank you very much.
I like to hear the congas, though. Where are the congas? No congas today? All right. Maybe we'll hear some later. All right.
We're not getting arrested?
I hope we get approval for that. In the meantime, there are many more speakers today. Robert Sanchez with Casa Sanchez, we know it all. Robert, please.
Gracias. Okay, so I get asked, where are you from? Am I Californian? Maybe. Am I a San Franciscan? Maybe. Am I from the Mission? Maybe. Where are you from? La Calle 24. I'm proud of it. So, how did the merchants come to be here? Well, before it became a Latino community, most of us came from our previous heritage or previous ancestors who were in the Western Addition. 50s, 60s, we followed our clientele as a Latino community to the Mission. That's why you have a lot of Latino businesses here, because we followed our clientele. I went to St. Peter's School a few blocks away. I've been here a long time, and I plan on staying here for many more years. The 24th Street Merchant Association, we started with Rene Yanez, Angelo Padilla, and quite a few other businesses that we were proud to be here. What did we do? Well, we tried to improve the community, but we also started a festival, the 24th Street Merchants Festival. 100 yards from here, we were able to see Santana one afternoon on Sunday, a whole afternoon set, and he played for free for the community. We were able to do lowrider festivals. We had boxing matches in the middle of the street. Why? Because that's what the community wanted. We had a lot of fun. It was all inclusive, and they never said no to anybody. But the merchants were part of a bigger community of residents, community activists, a lot of nonprofits. Together we were able to bring the services that were needed for the businesses, for the community. And we were proud of it. Let me just take you back a little bit. If we come down 24th Street, we still have quite a few businesses that are still here. Bernie Gonzalez still has his practice on 24th Street. He's still here. York Theater Brava is still here. St. Francis Creamery, they have the best grilled cheese sandwiches, is still here. You have the bakery, La Mexicana, is still here by the Baile family. You have the Punjab, the Fong family, the best war wonton soup in San Francisco. You have the Otto family in La Palma. They make the best tortillas you can find anywhere. You have El Salvador, El Gallinita right here. He's been here a long time, just like a lot of other businesses have been. Roosevelt Tamale Farmer. You have Jaime from La Victoria. The bakery is still here. Dominguez Bakery is still here. And if you want a good cup of coffee, the best you could find is Phil's Coffee a block away. Especially made for you, okay? Not that I'm advertising for the merchants, but we're proud to be here to serve the community. We'll do anything we can to be a part of it and mesh and provide the services everybody needs here. Out of the Merchant Association, a lot of leadership development. So we were able to work and get La Raza Park, a festival there. We were able to work with Carnaval. We were able to work with a lot of other individuals to help them develop programs that were for the greater part of the mission. So let me just say one more time that if you ask me where I'm from, am I a Californian? Maybe. Am I a San Franciscan? Maybe. Am I from the Mission? Maybe. But I'm from the Calle? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robert. And now we will hear from a third generation resident in the Mission. Miguel Bustos. Miguel, welcome.
So we hear them call, Ama, hija, comadre, vecino, papá, abuela. But we know them by their names. Diaz, Garcia, Rodriguez, Martinez, Arguello, Hernandez, Del Carlo, Nuno, Gonzalez, Ocasio, Perez, Sanchez, Sorelli, Bourne, Ramirez, Pedrosa, Rivera, Sakari, Diaz, Reyes, Salinas, Cervantes, Mendozas, and Bustos, and many, many others. Some black, some white, some yellow, some red, but many, 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 many more are brown. But all familias that immigrated from other parts of Latin America, who came here to San Francisco and brought to the Mission District their love of family, culture, faith, traditions that celebrated life, their culture. Hipster is not a culture. It is a fad. We are here celebrating culture. You see, it were these traditions, these celebrations, and these cultures that kept this community intact. Because it wasn't too long ago, and many of you will know, that there are certain parts of this city that disregarded us in the Mission. Our elected officials and our city government paid us no mind. You know, we had no attention, no resources, but what we did have was each other. That I called out our families that are still here in the Mission. So we're not gone. We're not gone. We're here. We're going to continue to be here. And we're going to continue to be a familia. And we're going to continue to support one another. And by having this cultural historic district dedicated, we are putting a line in the sand to let people know that we were here. We've always been, and we always will. So thank you.
Thank you so much. That's fantastic. So much history. I mean, you see the faces. Everybody listens, but really listens. Not just like hearing something. Everybody's thinking about their own lives, what they have experienced every day, when they were kids, when they're older, the challenges, the possibilities, and the hope to improve. Vamos a darle un gran viva a la calle 24 Latino Cultural District. ¡Viva! ¡Viva la calle 24! ¡Viva! Muy bien. Y ahora vamos a escuchar. We're going to listen to Desiree Smith, San Francisco Heritage Project Manager. Desiree, please come here.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Desiree Smith. I'm here on behalf of San Francisco Heritage. We're a local nonprofit dedicated to preserving and enhancing the city's unique architectural and cultural identity. I'm truly honored and humbled to be here today among so many inspirational artists, entrepreneurs, and activists. Congratulations to everyone involved in the effort to designate Calle 24 as a Latino Cultural District, as well as to those who have contributed their passion, talent, and hard work to building the cultural legacy of Calle 24 over the past 60 years. I'm here today to talk a little bit about some of the next steps that the community is doing to preserve and tell the story of San Francisco's rich and layered Latino heritage for future generations. My organization, along with the San Francisco Latino Historical Society, has secured funds from the city's Historic Preservation Fund and the Mayor's Office of Economic and Workforce Development to carry out a citywide study on Latino heritage. Entitled Nuestra Historia, documenting the Chicano, Latino, and Indígena contributions to the city of San Francisco, the project will launch on Saturday, June 7th, and will culminate in the publication of a planning document, more specifically a historic context statement. Once this document is adopted by the Board of Supervisors, It will be utilized by local decision makers, planning department staff, professionals, historians, and most importantly, local communities to evaluate and preserve Latino heritage resources, ranging from historic sites and neighborhoods, such as Calle 24, to important cultural institutions. Nuestra Historia will also provide a mechanism for building the historical archive, as all materials will be donated to the San Francisco Public Library. Additionally, information learned from the project will be used to create K-12 curriculum so that San Francisco youth have access to the most recent scholarship in local Latino history. A team of scholars, including Dr. Carlos Cordova from San Francisco State, and in partnership with the San Francisco Latino Historical Society, will carry out the study. As a community-based initiative, the entire project will be overseen by a board of respected community leaders, and there will be ample opportunities for people to get involved through a series of community meetings. We invite everyone, young and old, to join us for the project kickoff and first community meeting to be held on Saturday, June 7th from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at City College Mission campus. We'll have attendees will have the opportunity to learn more about the project, hear from a panel of Latino elders, and share their thoughts on important topics, themes, and stories that should be included in the study. Sometimes we tend to think of history as irrelevant to the needs and challenges we confront today, but in actuality, the historical record is critical to guiding our efforts at cultural preservation for the future. Congratulations again to everyone who has and continues to contribute to the legacy of Calle 24. This community is a gift not only to the city of San Francisco, but to the country and to the world. Let's ensure that Calle 24 and the rest of the city continues to produce the artists, the visionaries, the change agents that it has for decades, and that it continues to inspire future generations of young people. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now, our last speaker. He already has his own fan base built. Yes, who is Eric Arguello, Merchant and Neighborhood Association. Eric.
Welcome everyone. I want to acknowledge the future of our Latino Cultural District. These are the children from Mission Education Project who are going to be joining us for the ribbon cutting ceremony. So thank you guys for being here. Again, I want to welcome everyone to the new Calle 24 San Francisco Latino Cultural District. I want to thank our supervisor David Campos and Mayor Ed Lee for their support and work to establish this cultural district. These efforts are a cumulative effort of many people over many years. Trial and error, failure and success, but we learned each time and came much closer. The efforts slowed, but the vision and the heart always lived. When times were bad, we worked hard and fought for the improvement and sustainability of our barrio. And when times are good, we work hard to stop the evictions and displacement of our community. We look forward to good times when we will share in prosperity in a stable and equitable economy. But a vision always lived, and new ideas and new energy come in different times. At this time, I want to acknowledge my friend, my good friend Miguel Bustos, who planted the seed of a cultural district, whose passion and love for this community was placed above everything else, and to all those who watered the seed with ideas, hard work, and vision. I also want to acknowledge our founding members, who for over 15 years, as volunteers, never got paid, gave their love and energy to the community. John Mendoza, if you want to come up. Without him, we would not be enjoying our Christmas lights that we have seen over the years on 24th Street. The kids, thank you. And Marie Sorensen, who gave her own money, raised funds to make sure we can pay for our permits. Marie, I think I saw you back there. There she is, Marie. And Maria de la Mora, I haven't seen her today, but whose energy to help was and continues to be unstoppable. And of course, our powerhouse, Rita Alviar, who I deeply respect, who always challenged us to move forward and to fight. And Alfredo Pedrosa, my neighbor and friend, who led to the complete capital improvements of Mini Park. The children, thank you. And to Roberto Hernandez, who has worked tirelessly for decades in this community. We got to give it up for Roberto. So many before us have planted seeds, and you heard a lot of them talk today, and we have a lot of respect for them. So those have planted the seeds, and today we are celebrating all those efforts for our community. The merchants, the artists, the service providers, the residents, our youth, our seniors, our homeboys and homegirls who have built this community with blood, sweat, and tears. So we need to move forward as a community to carry the vision. And we need to remember that this district and vision does not belong to one person or entity, but to all of you, the community. Que viva Calle 24 and the Latino Cultural District. Gracias. And on a side note, we will be engaging the community for the next 6 months, brainstorming, creating, talking, input, and discussing with the community as to what we want here or not. And of course, the goal is to preserve, enhance, and to make it affordable for all. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. And now, the moment everybody wanted to see. First, the ribbon cutting ceremony, then the Aztec dancers. Let's see the ribbon. We're gonna have the children
that I called out are families that are still here in the mission. So we're not gone. We're not gone. We're here. We're going to continue to be here. And we're going to continue to be a familia. And we're going to continue to support one another. And by having this cultural historic district dedicated, we are putting a line in the sand to let people know that we were here. We've always been, and we always will. So thank you.
Thank you so much. That's fantastic. So much history. I mean, you see the faces, everybody listens, but really listens, not just like hearing something. Everybody's thinking of their own lives, what they have experienced every day, when they were kids, when they're older, the challenges, the possibilities, and the hope to improve. Vamos a darle un gran viva a la calle 24 Latino Cultural District. ¡Viva! ¡Viva la calle 24! ¡Viva! Muy bien. Y ahora vamos a escuchar. We're going to listen to Desiree Smith, San Francisco Heritage Project Manager. Desiree, please come here.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Desiree Smith. I'm here on behalf of San Francisco Heritage. We're a local nonprofit dedicated to preserving and enhancing the city's unique architectural and cultural identity. I'm truly honored and humbled to be here today among so many inspirational artists, entrepreneurs, and activists. Congratulations to everyone involved in the effort to designate Calle 24 as a Latino Cultural District, as well as to those who have contributed their passion, talent, and hard work to building the cultural legacy of Calle 24 over the past 60 years. I'm here today to talk a little bit about some of the next steps that the community is doing to preserve and tell the story of San Francisco's rich and layered Latino heritage for future generations. My organization, along with the San Francisco Latino Historical Society, has secured funds from the city's Historic Preservation Fund and the Mayor's Office of Economic and Workforce Development to carry out a citywide study on Latino heritage. Entitled Nuestra Historia, documenting the Chicano, Latino, and Indígena contributions to the city of San Francisco, the project will launch on Saturday, June 7th, and will culminate in the publication of a planning document, more specifically a historic context statement. Once this document is adopted by the Board of Supervisors, it will be utilized by local decision makers, planning department staff, professionals, historians, and most importantly, local communities to evaluate and preserve Latino heritage resources, ranging from historic sites and neighborhoods, such as Calle 24, to important cultural institutions. Nuestra Historia will also provide a mechanism for building the historical archive, as all materials will be donated to the San Francisco Public Library. Additionally, information learned from the project will be used to create K-12 curriculum so that San Francisco youth have access to the most recent scholarship in local Latino history. A team of scholars, including Dr. Carlos Cordova from San Francisco State, and in partnership with the San Francisco Latino Historical Society, will carry out the study. As a community-based initiative, the entire project will be overseen by a board of respected community leaders, and there will be ample opportunities for people to get involved through a series of community meetings. We invite everyone, young and old, to join us for the project kickoff and first community meeting to be held on Saturday, June 7th from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at City College Mission campus. We'll have attendees will have the opportunity to learn more about the project, hear from a panel of Latino elders, and share their thoughts on important topics, themes, and stories that should be included in the study. Sometimes we tend to think of history as irrelevant to the needs and challenges we confront today, but in actuality, the historical record is critical to guiding our efforts at cultural preservation for the future. Congratulations again to everyone who has and continues to contribute to the legacy of Calle 24. This community is a gift not only to the city of San Francisco, but to the country and to the world. Let's ensure that Calle 24 and the rest of the city continues to produce the artists, the visionaries, the change agents that it has for decades, and that it continues to inspire future generations of young people. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now, our last speaker. He already has his own fan base built. Yes, who is Eric Arguello, Merchant and Neighborhood Association. Eric.
Welcome everyone. I want to acknowledge the future of our Latino Cultural District. These are the children from Mission Education Project who are going to be joining us for the ribbon cutting ceremony, so thank you guys for being here. Again, I want to welcome everyone to the new Calle 24 San Francisco Latino Cultural District. I want to thank our supervisor David Campos and Mayor Ed Lee for their support and work to establish this cultural district. These efforts are a cumulative effort of many people over many years. Trial and error, failure and success, but we learned each time and came much closer. The efforts slowed, but the vision and the heart always lived. When times were bad, we worked hard and fought for the improvement and sustainability of our barrio. And when times are good, we work hard to stop the evictions and displacement of our community. We look forward to good times when we will share in prosperity in a stable and equitable economy. But a vision always lived, and new ideas and new energy come in different times. At this time, I want to acknowledge my friend, my good friend Miguel Bustos, who planted the seed of a cultural district, whose passion and love for this community was placed above everything else, and to all those who watered the seed with ideas, hard work, and vision. I also want to acknowledge our founding members, who for over 15 years as volunteers, never got paid, gave their love and energy to the community. John Mendoza, if you want to come up. Without him, we would not be enjoying our Christmas lights that we have seen over the years on 24th Street. The kids, thank you. And Marie Sorensen, who gave her own money, raised funds to make sure we can pay for our permits. Marie, I think I saw you back there. There she is, Marie. And Maria de la Mora, I haven't seen her today, but whose energy to help was and continues to be unstoppable. And of course, our powerhouse, Rita Alviar, who I deeply respect, who always challenged us to move forward and to fight. And Alfredo Pedrosa, my neighbor and friend, who led to the complete capital improvements of Mini Park. The children, thank you. And to Roberto Hernandez, who has worked tirelessly for decades in this community. We've got to give it up for Roberto. So many before us have planted seeds, and you heard of a lot of them talk today, and we have a lot of respect for them. So those have planted the seeds, and today we are celebrating all those efforts for our community. The merchants, the artists, the service providers, the residents, our youth, our seniors, our homeboys and homegirls who have built this community with blood, sweat, and tears. So we need to move forward as a community to carry the vision. And we need to remember that this district and vision does not belong to one person or entity, but to all of you, the community. Que viva Calle 24 and the Latino Cultural District. Gracias. And on a side note, we will be engaging the community for the next 6 months, brainstorming, creating, talking, input, and discussing with the community as to what we want here or not. And of course, the goal is to preserve, enhance, and to make it affordable for all. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. And now, the moment everybody wanted to see. First, the ribbon cutting ceremony, then the Aztec dancers. Let's see the ribbon. We're gonna have the children.
One of the kids. Venga, niños. John. Venga, venga, venga. Come on, you guys. Are you ready to cut? 2, 3.
Y ahora con todo este entusiasmo continuamos con los danzantes aztecas. Gracias a ellos por su apoyo y su esfuerzo a este evento tan increíble. Aquí vienen, se están preparando. No se vayan, aquí están. Vemos el incienso. Aquí vienen. Los niños parece que también quieren bailar. El espacio.
When you guys go back to school.
Gracias, Juan.
¡Claro que sí!
Nos retiramos. Quiero pedirles muchas gracias. Thank you so much for staying. And thank you to everybody. Solo antes de que se retiren, I would love to please to give a thanks to the danzantes. I'm gonna name them because a lot of them take the day off, and I mean part of the day off, and la escuela también. So I wanna introduce them before we leave. Is that okay? Thank you. We're gonna start on my left with a little warrior who born here in the Mission, Cuauhtémoc Peña. Él es Dios. We have another very strong warrior who born here in La Misión too. Her name is Liliana Pascasio. Lili Pascasio de Dios. We have Gigi Muñoz from 24, Él es Dios. On my right, we have another very strong warrior. Her name is Connie Peña from Mission 24. And we have Anita Pascasio from La Misión, Él es Dios 24. We have another very strong warrior. His name is Adrián Rivera from Toluca, Mexico. Él es Dios. And I know that around here there's a lot of danzantes from La Misión. Un aplauso para todos ellos. There's two more warriors right there. One is sleeping, another one is running the burrito. Angélica and Elizabeth from La Misión, él es Dios. And the one who made us pray the heart of the danzante, without a good heart and a harmony and a good drummer, there's not good danzante. So, Ricardo Peña from Toluca, Mexico. And my name is Connie Rivera. I'm from Toluca, Mexico. Él es Dios. And thank you, all of you from my left to my right, who made this possible, especially to the children. And Él es Dios. Y que viva Campos y todos los que hicieron posible 24, calle 24. Él es Dios. And thank you so much for Eric, por todo su trabajo muy grande. God bless you, Eric.
And if you can to support, their dancing, I think they have a little collection box. It'd be great to support them in the future. So thank you. Or actually now for the future.
Great idea. Thank you. So that's it, folks. That's it. And thank you so much for staying with us. A big round of applause for everybody here. Woo! Go, Calle 24. Yes. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
And thank you.